Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're going to start from chapter number 21, Madhya Lila, verse number 61. Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langhete girim yat kripatamam vande Shri Gurum Dintarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. So let's begin reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 21, verse 61. विस्मित है ना ब्रह्मा द्वारिके कहिला कह गैया सनक पिता चतुर्मुख आइला. When the doorman asked which Brahma, Lord Brahma was surprised. He told the doorman, please go inform Lord Krishna that I am the four-headed Brahma who is the father of the four Kumars. Verse 62. Krishna janan dwari brahmare Lena Gela Krishnera Charane Brahma Dandavat Kaila. The doorman then informed Lord Krishna of Lord Brahma's description, and Lord Krishna gave him permission to enter. The doorman escorted Lord Brahma in, and as soon as Brahma saw Lord Krishna, he offered obeisances at his lotus feet. Verse 63. Krishna manya puja kari tanre prashna kaila ki lagi tomar ihan agaman haila. After being worshipped by Lord Brahma, Lord Krishna also honored him with suitable words. Then Lord Krishna asked him, why have you come here? Verse 64. Brahma kahe taha pache kariba nivedana eka samshay mane haya karaha chedana. After being questioned, Lord Brahma immediately replied, later I shall tell you why I have come. First of all, there is a doubt in my mind which I wish you would kindly dissipate. Verse 65. Kaun Brahma puchile tumi kaun abhipraye ama bai jagate ar kaun Brahma hai. Why did you inquire which Brahma had come to see you? What is the purpose of such an inquiry? Is there any other Brahma besides me within this universe? Verse 66. Shuni hasi Krishna tabe karilena dhyane asankhya brahmar Gana Aila Tata Kshane. Upon hearing this, Krishna smiled and immediately meditated. Unlimited Brahmas arrived instantly. Verse 67. Dasha Bisha Shata Sahasra Ayut Laksha Vadana Koti Arbuda Mukha Karo Na Yaya Gananam. These Brahmas had different numbers of heads. Some had 10 heads, some had 20, some had 100. Some 1,000, some 10,000, some 100,000, some 10 million, and others 100 millions. No one can count the number of faces they had. Verse 68. Rudragana Aila Lakshakoti Vadana Indragana Aila Lakshakoti Nayana. There also arrived many Lord Shivas with various heads numbering 100,000 and 10 million. Many Indras also arrived, and they had hundreds of thousands of eyes all over their bodies. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It is said that Indra, the king of heaven, is very lusty. Once he had sexual encounter with the wife of a great sage, and the sage learned about this. He cursed lusty Indra with a curse that put female organs all over his body. Being very much ashamed, Indra fell down at the lotus feet of great sage and begged his pardon. Being compassionate, the sage turned those into eyes. Therefore, Indra possesses hundreds and thousands of eyes all over his body, just as Lord Brahma and Lord Shivas have many faces. The king of heaven, Indra, has many eyes. Verse 69. Dekhi Chaturmukha Brahma Pranapara Haila Hasti Gana Mathe Yena Shashak Rahila. When the four-headed Brahmas of this universe saw all these opulences of Krishna, he became very much bewildered and considered himself a rabbit among many elephants. Verse 70. Asi sab Brahma Krishna Pad Peeth Age Dandavat Karite Mukut Pad Peethe Lage. All the Brahmas who came to see Krishna offered their respects at his lotus feet, and when they did this, their helmets touched his lotus feet. Verse 71. Krishnera Achintya Shakti Lakhite eha nare yat brahma tat murti ek e sharire. No one can estimate the inconceivable potency of Krishna. All the Brahmas they were resting in one body of Krishna. Verse 72. पादपीठ मुकुटाग्र संघटे उठे ध्वनि पादपीठे स्तुति करे mukut hena jani. When all the helmets struck together at Krishna's lotus feet, there was a tumultuous sound. It appeared that the helmets themselves were offering praise unto Krishna's lotus feet. Verse 73. Yoda hate Brahma Rudradi Karaye Stvana Bada Kripa Karila Prabhu Dekhaila Charana. With folded hands, all the Brahmas and Shivas began to offer praise unto Lord Krishna, saying, O Lord, you have shown me great favor. I have been able to see your lotus feet. Verse 74. Bhagya more bolaila das angikari kaun agya hai taha kari shire dhari. All of them then said, It is my great fortune, Lord, that you have called me, thinking of me as your servant. Now let me know that what your order is, so that I may carry it on my heads. Verse 75. Krishna kahe, Tuma sabhi dekhite chitt haila, taha lagi eka thani sabha bolaila. Lord Krishna replied, Since I wanted to see all of you together, I have called all of you here. Verse 76. Sukhi hao sabhi kichu nahi daita bhaya tar kahe tomar prasade sarvatra jaya. All of you should be happy. Is there any fear from the demons? Purport. They replied, By your mercy we are victorious everywhere. Verse number 77. Samprati prithvite yeba haya chila bhar avatirna hena taha karila samhar. Whatever burden was upon the earth you have taken away by descending to that planet. Verse 78. Dwarkadi vibhu tar ei ta praman amar I brahmande Krishna sabar heila kyan. This is the proof of Dwarka opulence. All the Brahmas thought Krishna is now staying in my jurisdiction. Verse 79. Krishna sah Dwarka vaibhav anubhav haila ekatra milane keha kaho na dekhila. Thus the opulence of Dwarka was perceived by each and every one of them. Although they were all assembled together, no one could see anyone but himself. Purport. The four-headed Brahma perceived the opulence of Dwarka Dham where Krishna was staying, and although there were Brahmas present having 10 to million heads, and although many Lord Shivas were also assembled, only the four-headed Brahma of this universe could see all of them. By the inconceivable potency of Krishna, the others could not see one another. Although all the Brahmas and Shivas were assembled together, due to Krishna's energy, they could not meet or talk amongst themselves individually. Verse 80. Tabe Krishna sarva brahma gane vidaye lila dandavat hena sabe nij ghare gela. Lord Krishna then bade farewell to all the Brahmas there, and after offering their obeisances, they all returned to their respective homes. Verse 81. Dekhi chaturmukh brahmar haila chamatkar krishnera charane asi kaila namaskar. After observing all these opulences, the four-headed Brahma of this universe was astonished. He again came before the lotus feet of Krishna and offered him obeisances. Verse 82. Brahma bale purve ami ye nischaya karilun tar udharana ami aji ta dekhilun. Brahma then said, Whatever I formally decided about my knowledge, I have just now had personally verified. Verse 83. Jananta eva janantu kim bahuktya name prabho manaso vapasho vacho vaibhavam tava gocharaha. There are people who say, I know everything about Krishna. Let them think in that way. As far as I am concerned, I do not wish to speak very much about this matter. O my Lord, let me say this much as far as your opulences are concerned. They are all beyond the reach of my mind, body, and verse. Purport. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.38, spoken by Lord Brahma. Verse 84. Krishna kahe e brahmanda panakashat koti yojana ati kshudra tate tomar chari vadana. Krishna said, your particular universe has a diameter of 4 billion miles. Therefore, it is the smallest of the universes. Consequently, you have only 4 heads. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, one of the greatest astrologers of his time, gives information from the Siddhanta Shrimani that the universe measures. Okay, I will have big problem in reading these numbers. I would just say 18, then 712, then 061. I think this is more than billions. Okay, so I will not even say that reading. It is big figure. I will just say 18, and after that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16 more digits times 8 miles. This is the circumference of this universe. According to some, this is only half the circumference. Verse 85, Kaun Brahma Shatakoti, Kaun Lakshakoti, Kaun Niyuta Koti, Kaun Koti Koti. Some of the universes are 1 billion yojans in diameter, some in 1 trillion, some 10 trillion, and some 100 trillion yojans. Thus, they are almost unlimited in area. Purport, a yojan equals 8 miles. So like Krishna said in the previous verse, that our particular universe has a diameter of 4 billion miles. And the Brahmas who came with millions heads and unlimited numbers of heads, their universes are almost unlimited in area. Verse number 86, Brahmanda Anurupa Brahmara Sharir Vadana Erupe Pali Ami Brahmandere Gana. Bhagavan says, according to the size of the universe, there are so many heads on the body of Brahma. In this way, I maintain innumerable universes, or the Brahmands. Now we know why the universes are called in Sanskrit and in Hindi Brahmand, because Brahma is the head of that area, Brahmand. Because there are so many Brahmas, each Brahma has got his own jurisdiction. Under his jurisdiction is certain area. That is the Brahmand. So there are unlimited number of Brahmands Krishna has created, and unlimited of Brahmas to maintain them according to the size. The Brahmas also have been created according to the size of their area which they have to look after, the universes or the Brahmands. Verse 87, Ekapad Vibhuti Ihar Nahi Pariman Tripad Vibhuti Rakeba Kare Pariman. Pariman is the measurements. No one can measure the length and breadth of 1/4 of my energy manifested in the material world. Who then can measure the 3/4 that is manifested in the spiritual world? So, material world is only 1/4 and spiritual world is 3/4, which, so we can't even imagine that. To us, our universe looks like something out of our imagination. We can't even imagine how big our universe is. Verse 88, Tasyaha pare paravyoma tripad bhutam Sanatanam Amritam Shashvatam Nityam Anantam Paramam Padam. Beyond the river Viraja is the spiritual nature which is indestructible, eternal, inexhaustible, and unlimited. It is a supreme abode consisting of 3/4 of the Lord's opulences. It is known as Paravyoma, the spiritual sky. Vyom, as we know, is sky. So wherever we add para, that becomes spiritual. That is spiritual skies. Like Atma is the soul and Paramatma is the super soul. Purport, this is a verse from Padma Puran quoted here by Lord Krishna. Verse 89. Tabe Krishna brahmare dilena vidaya Krishnera vibhuti swarupa janana Nayai. In this way, Lord Krishna bade farewell to the four-headed Brahma of this universe. We may thus understand that no one can calculate the extent of Krishna's energies. Verse 90. Triyadhishvara shabdera artha gudha arhaya trishabde krishnera teen lokakaya. There is a very deep meaning in the word Triyadhishvara, which indicates that Krishna possesses three different lokas or natures. Purport: the word Triyadhishvara means proprietor of the three worlds. There are three worlds, and Krishna is the supreme proprietor of all of them. This is explained by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad-Gita 5.29. Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim richati. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all the sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all the living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. The word Sarvalok means all three worlds, and the word Maheshwar means the supreme proprietor. Krishna is the proprietor of both material and spiritual world. The spiritual world is divided into two portions, Golok, Vrindavan and Vaikunthas. The material world is combination of universes unlimited in number. Verse number 91. Golokakya Gokula Mathura Dwaravati Etina Loke Krishnera Sahaje Nitya Sthiti. The three lokas are Gokul, that is Golok, Mathura and Dwarka. Krishna lives eternally in these three places. Purport: Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur comments that in the Golok planet there are three divisions, Gokul, Mathura and Dwarka. In his incarnation as Gaurasundar, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord conducts his pastimes in three areas: Navadvip, Jagannath Puri, which is in South India, and Rajamandal, the area of Vrindavan Dham near Delhi. Verse number 92. Antaranga Purna Aishwarya Purna Tina Dham Tinera Adhishwara Krishna Swayam Bhagwan. These three places are full of internal potencies, and Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is their sole proprietor. Verse 93 and 94. Purva Ukta Brahmandera Yata Dikpal Ananta Vaikuntha Navarana Chir Lokapal Tana Sabara Mukut Krishna Pad Peeth Age Dandavat Kale Tara Mani Peethe Lage. As previously mentioned, the jewels on the helmets of all the predominating deities of all the universes and Vaikuntha planets touched the throne and the lotus feet of the Lord when those deities all offered obeisances. Verse 95. Mani Peethe Theka Theki Uthe Jhanjhani Pithera Stuti Kare Mukut Hena Anumani. When the gems on the helmets of all the predominating deities collided before the throne and the Lord's lotus feet, there was a jingling sound which seemed like prayers offered by the helmets at Krishna's lotus feet. Verse 96. Nij Chit Shakte Krishna Nitya Virajaman Chit Shakti Sampattira Shad Aishwarya Nam. Krishna is thus situated eternally in his spiritual potency, and the opulence of that spiritual potency is called Shad Aishwarya, indicating 6 kinds of opulences. Verse 97. Say Swarajya Lakshmi Kare Nitya Purna Kam Ataiva Vede Kahe Sad Swayam Bhagwan. Because he possesses the spiritual potencies which fulfill all his desires, Krishna is accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the Vedic version. Verse 98. Krishnera Aishwarya Apara Amritera Sindhu Avgahite Nari Tar Chuhilan Ek Bindu. The unlimited potencies of Krishna are just like an ocean of nectar. Since one cannot bathe within that ocean, I have only touched a drop of it. Verse 99. Aishwarya Kahite Prabhura Krishna Sfurti Haila Madhurya Majila Mana Ek Shloka Padila When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was describing the opulences and spiritual potencies of Krishna in this way, there was an awakening of love of Krishna within him. His mind became immersed in the sweetness of conjugal love, and he quoted the following verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, verse number 100. Yanmartya lila paikam swagyoga maya balam darshyata grihitam vismapanam swasya cha saubhagya dehe param padam bhushan angam. To exhibit the strength of his own spiritual potency, Lord Krishna manifested a form just suitable for his pastimes in the material world. This form was wonderful even for him and was the supreme abode of the wealth of good fortune. Its limbs were so beautiful that they increased the beauty of the ornaments worn on different parts of his body. Purport: this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 3.2.12 is stated in a conversation between Vidur and Uddhav. Uddhav thus begins his description of the pastimes of Sri Krishna in his form exhibited by Yogamaya. Verse 101. Krishnera yateka khela sarvottam nar lila nar vapu tahar swarup gop vesha venu kar navakishore natavara nar lilar haya anurupa. Lord Krishna has many pastimes, of which his pastimes as a human being are the best. His form as a human being is the supreme transcendental form. In this form, he is cowherd boy. He carries a flute in his hand and his youth is new. He is also an expert dancer. All these is just suitable for his pastimes as a human being. Verse 102. Krishnera madhur rupa shuna sanatana ye rupera ek kana dubaya sab tribhuvana sarva prani kar akarshana. My dear Sanatan, the sweet, attractive, transcendental form of Krishna is so nice. Just try to understand it. Even a fractional understanding of Krishna's beauty can merge all three worlds in the ocean of love. He attracts all living entities within the three worlds. Verse 103. Yogamaya Chitta Shakti Vishuddha Sattva Parinati Tara Shakti Loke Dikhaite Airupa Ratan Bhakta Ganera Gudha Dhana Prakat Kaila Nitya Lila Haite. The transcendental form of Krishna is shown to the world by Lord Krishna's internal spiritual energy, which is a transformation of pure goodness. This jewel-like form is the most confidential treasure of the devotees. This form is manifested from Krishna's eternal pastimes. Verse 104. Rupa dekhi apanar Krishnera haila chamatkar aswadite mane uthe kam swa saubhagya yandra nam Saundaryadi guna gram airupa nitya taradham. The wonderful forms of Krishna in his personal feature is so great that it attracts even Krishna to taste his own association. Indeed, Krishna becomes very eager to taste it. Total beauty, knowledge, wealth and strength, fame and renunciation are the 6 opulences of Krishna. He is eternally situated in his opulences. Purport: Krishna has many pastimes, of which his pastimes in Golok Vrindavan, the Gokul Lila, are supreme. He also has pastimes in Vaikunthas, the spiritual world, as Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. In his pastimes in the material sky, he lies down in the causal ocean as Karana Navashai, the Purush avatar. His incarnations as fish, tortoise and so on are called his causal incarnations. He incarnates in the modes of nature as Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. He also incarnates as empowered living entities like Prithu and Vyas. The Supersoul is his localized incarnation and his all-pervasive aspect is the impersonal Brahman. When we consider impartially all the unlimited pastimes of the Lord, we find that his pastimes as a human being on this planet, wherein he sports as a cowherd boy with the flute in his hands and appears youthful and fresh like a ballet dancer, are pastimes and features that are never subjected to material laws and inebrities. The wonderful beauty of Krishna is presented in the supreme planet Gokul, which is Golok Vrindavan. Inferior to that is his representation in the spiritual sky, and inferior to that is his representation in the external energy Devi Dham. A mere drop of Krishna's sweetness can drown these three worlds: Golok Vrindavan, Hari Dham, which is Vaikuntha Lok, and Devi Dham, which is the material world. Everywhere Krishna's beauty immerses everyone in the ecstasy of transcendental bliss. Actually, the activities of Yogamaya are absent in the spiritual sky and Vaikuntha planets. She simply works in the supreme planet Golok Vrindavan, and she works to manifest the activities of Krishna when he descends to the material universe to please his innumerable devotees within the material world. The replica of the Golok Vrindavan planet and the pastimes there is manifested on this planet on a specific tract of land, Bhauma Vrindavan, the Vrindavan Dham on this planet. So we'll continue our reading next time. Thank you for joining. Hari Om Tat Sat, Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai.